everyone. I'm pleased to introduce to you the skip of the Canadian women's curling team at the 2022 Olympic Winter Games. We have Jennifer Jones here with us. Thank you so much. And for everyone, we'll just get underway right now. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll have time for an initial question and a follow-up, and then we can see if we have another time for another round coming in. But without further ado, let's begin with Ted Wyman.
Hi, Jen. Good morning. I asked the same question of Brad. Just what has the last, it hasn't even been 24 hours yet, been like for you and your teammates?
It's fun. It's so much fun. We got together and just talked about the game and just how excited we were, and just talked about going to the Olympics. It still doesn't feel real. I don't think it'll feel real until I get home. But got together and had a little bit of a celebration, watched the men's game to cheer on Brett, obviously, and Team Gushu, and just kind of, we didn't get a ton of sleep, but not because we were out super late, just because the adrenaline was still flowing. It felt like the game had just ended, and I still couldn't believe it was real. I think I got about an hour of sleep last night.
You've done this before and you've had that experience, but I'm sure there's times when you say you're not sure you're ever going to get a chance to go back. So when you just realized at that moment, just how special was that?
Unbelievably special. Yeah. Moment of a lifetime, really. Like, it's to go once was incredible. Never ever dreamed that we'd get the opportunity to do it a couple of times, and to wear the maple leaf on your back. I think this is our eighth opportunity. How amazing that is. And it's just such a privilege. It's super surreal. And I just feel like I know I've said it a lot, but just so grateful to have my team, so grateful for the opportunity, grateful that everything worked out the way, for us yesterday, and that we get to go to the Olympics.
Let's move to Matthew next. I think we can hear you, Matthew. There you are.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. First of all, congratulations.
Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations for winning at the curling trials and for being named on the national team. It's really amazing. And I had two questions for you. At first, it's during the Winter Olympics, Canadians from coast to coast will celebrate Flag Day on February 15. And I was wondering, what does it mean to you to wear the maple leaf and represent Canada on the world stage?
It's the most humbling, biggest honor that you could ever imagine. I think we live in one of the greatest countries in the world. We're so lucky to live in Canada. It's given me so much in my life and in our lives. And the moment you see your name with the maple leaf below it, and you get to put the jacket on and represent the great country that you live in, it's just such a humbling experience. You don't feel almost deserving that you get to do that. And you take it with, I know all of us take a lot of pride in that, and take the responsibility of representing Canada as well as we can, and doing our best to represent all the other curlers that we're striving to do what we have the opportunity to do.
Thanks a lot. And just as a follow-up, our lives changed a lot in the past few months, now years. And how did you stay motivated when the sport world stood still? So do you have any tips or tricks to anyone who would like to get moving? Because it's can be hard right now to be motivated. So if you have any tips that you could share.
I think the one thing the last year and a half is taught us is perspective, and just to be grateful for every opportunity that we get to do anything. So if we have an opportunity to get moving, get some exercise, have some time outside and enjoy the fresh air, be outside with our families, it just gave us perspective of how special that is. I think sometimes before we used to take that for granted, and now we just have to jump on the opportunity, make sure we stay healthy, take care of ourselves, and are ready to see tomorrow when maybe all of this and our new normal becomes a little bit more real.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Let's go to Greg Strong next.
Hey, Jen, thanks for taking the time.
Hi.
I was wondering how you feel the depth on the women's world curling scene has changed since Sochi.
To be honest, the women's game has evolved. I mean, that's just what sport is. Everybody kind of pushes the limits. You see it in all sports. Everybody just keeps getting better and better and better, and it's hard to keep up. So that's no different in curling. The depth of the field in Sochi was incredible. incredible. Like at the time, we thought it was the best field to ever be assembled. And we're saying the same thing now. So I think women's curling's evolved. I like to think that we've evolved with women's curling, but it's definitely a very, very, very strong field. And we're going to have to play good from the first game to the last game.
Just a quick follow, if I could, what's your concern level on this new COVID variant and traveling over the coming months to China, travel, border restrictions, all that stuff?
Yeah, we've been through this the last little while, and we feel, we're taking precautions as a team to keep ourselves as safe as possible while we're traveling and before events, and just trying to take every precaution possible. And the COC is doing a phenomenal job at ensuring our health and safety is at the top of their minds. And they, a lot of people I know heading into Tokyo they weren't unsure about whether it was a good idea, and we seem to get through that relatively well. So we have a lot of confidence in the COC and the medical staff, and we're just going to take every single precaution that we can to make sure that we're safe and healthy and that we can compete to the best of our ability.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
We'll go to Mike McIntyre next.
Thanks very much. Congratulations, Jen. Greg asked you about kind of the state of the sport on a bigger picture, but I want to ask you about just the state of the game, the women's game in Manitoba, and how much that has helped drive success to be, competing in an era right now where there's just so much talent out there, and how has that kind of helped drive your game?
Oh, tremendously. Like, I've been around a little while now, so I've seen Manitoba curling just grow exponentially, like just to watch it thrive. It's wow. Like, it's in great hands for so long. And, you look at a lot of the top athletes to train with the best. Like, you look at Katrina Lemay-Doan and Susan Ock, they trained together, but they were like the biggest competitors. So for us to be able to play against these teams, watch these teams, push ourselves to try to be our best, I think that makes us better. And you're seeing that in Manitoba. It becomes more realistic, and you're just seeing all the teams pushing themselves to the very limit. So it's great to be a part of. I'm thankful that we're not playing in provincials, because it's really hard to win our provincial, but yeah, it's great to see, and super proud of Manitoba curling.
Does anyone else have a question? I see Ted, you just put up your hand. Go ahead.
Sure, may as well make sure we get a few more questions in for Jen. Jen, there was so many emotional moments yesterday, and you talked about some of them, but I wonder about, for you, seeing Jocelyn and Brett in that incredible embrace, both of them having just clinched this opportunity to go to the Olympics for the first time, just what your perception of all that was.
It was so awesome to see. They're both such amazing people, and to go to Beijing, we're not going to have any friends and family there. So for Jocelyn to experience her first Olympics without any friends and family, it's great. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but it does add something very special when you go to Canada House. It was just such an incredible experience for us in Sochi. So the fact that Brett gets to go with her and she gets to experience it with her partner in life it's so nice for them, especially because it's both their first games, and they're going to have their person there to experience it with them.
So we have two hands, and we have about time for two more questions. So let's start with Teilhard, please.
Hi, Jen. Again,
Hi.
congratulations.
Thank you.
You're an inspiration for so many young Canadians out there. But for yourself, if you had to go back and look at your career, what advice would you give to your younger self?
I don't know. I had such great advice early. Curling for me was always a place where it was my happy place. It was I was a super shy kid, and it was a way for me to just be at peace. And so I've always looked at it that way, and to always enjoy the moment. So I think I would just remind myself to enjoy the moment even more. Don't let all those little moments pass you by and like in a flash where you don't remember any of it. And those big games, and soak up the crowd, soak up the atmosphere, because before you know it, you're going to look back and you're just going to looking back on your career. So when you are in the moment, be in the moment, but enjoy it and soak it all up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Greg Strong.
Hey, Jen, this is a little bit different, but I'm just wondering, when you look at 2021 on the curling scene as a whole, how would you describe it?
Grateful to be back. I know everybody in the bubble, it was great to have the bubble and we got to play a little bit, but it's so nice to be able to train and practice and have regular ice. And so you're seeing the teams are like really good. Like people have put us so much practice in over the last little while that I feel like right now teams are playing as good or better than I've ever seen women's curling. So it's 2021 is the next evolution of winning women's curling. You're going to see some fantastic shots, and it's going to push our game even more. So it's fun to see.
Thanks.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks for your time, Jen. Appreciate it.